Hello and welcome to Wisdom for Wannabes, the podcast that seeks to find wise words in business, beauty, and betterment. I am the host, Jackie Morreale. Today's episode sits at the intersection of performance and mental health. We're joined by two incredible experts who are changing the conversation around what it really means to win. Dr. Jonathan Jenkins, sports psychologist for the Boston Red Sox and New England Patriots, has worked with elite athletes at the highest level where mindset is everything. And Dr. Kim O'Brien, a youth mental health expert and former national champion athlete at Harvard University, brings both lived experience and clinical expertise to the challenges young athletes are facing today. Together, they co-authored Mentality Wins, the Athlete's Playbook for Thriving in Sport and Life, which is a powerful guide for athletes on how their mindset impacts their performance. You can learn more at mentalitywins.com. This is a conversation about resilience, identity, and learning how to win in life, as well as in sports. JJ, Kim, welcome to Wisdom for Wannabes. It is so great to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Let's dig right into the questions. Take it all the way back to the beginning. Kim, what first drew you into the world of sports and mental health?
Well, I'm a social worker by training, and I only got into the sports social work world about 6 years ago. It's finally come full circle in that I am an athlete. I identify as an athlete. I spent much of my youth and young adult life as an athlete. I played Harvard hockey, and that has been such a big part of my life. After graduating from Harvard, it took me a while to figure out my identity outside of sport. Was able to do so in the field of clinical social work, specifically focusing on intervention, development, and testing for suicidal teens and teens who use substances. I did spend the bulk of my career working in that area. About 7 years ago, I decided I really want to get back into the athlete space, and I want to bring the knowledge I have on teen mental health and suicide prevention into the athlete space specifically. That's what drew me back into that.
Amazing. I'm just going to recap in a couple words. Kim is saving the world. JJ, tell us more about how you got into the world of sports psychology and mental health.
I'd say Kim and I got into it in pretty similar paths. We are both clinical in our background. When I work with young people, sports is always a topic of conversation. You have sports and pop culture. When you're working in an inpatient residential center, you might shoot hoops and talk or play tic-tac-toe and talk. That competitiveness and that ability to do something while talking about something bigger than the game that you're actually playing has been a really cool therapeutic tool to use. I was fortunate enough to go to the University of Denver, where we had an amazing sports psychology program. A lot of my classmates were doing their doctoral degree and taking classes in that master's program. I was able to see what they were doing, and it was really attractive to me. When I got to MGH, there were opportunities to work with high school collegiate athletes. I was able to apply for the options with the Red Sox and the Patriots. And here I am now, the opportunity to work with Kim and some of the other great athletes we have.
Man, MGH meaning Mass General Hospital. To be one of your patients and to be able to shoot hoops with you while you're taking care of them, my goodness, how lucky are they? Tell me more about how you guys met and how this project started.
I can start with that. So surprisingly, we met initially via LinkedIn. I was looking around and trying to do some more networking in the field, had seen that JJ was working in Foxborough, which I live near in Massachusetts. It's like, oh, that would be cool to get to know him. The work he's doing is really interesting and has a lot of overlap with mine. I reached out and just said, the work you're doing, we should chat sometime. We did. And we mentioned to each other that we're trying to write a book. I was like, oh, what's your book about? And he's like, oh, mental health and performance book. I go, oh, me too. And we talked about our thoughts and the ideas that we each had for the book. And we're like, should we write this together? Just made sense. And so the rest history.
The rest is history. That is amazing. And an ad for LinkedIn. The internet
right?
is this amazing place that connects us all. Wow. Okay. So you guys were living your own lives, doing your own thing, your own paths, and somehow they crossed and you found out that you had this passion together and you decided to co-write this book. What's your side of the story, JJ? How did it all start?
Was that, and we kept showing up at similar events. Her values aligned with mine and vice versa. The people we worked with in those events were speaking about how dynamic Kim was in her presentations, all the resources she was giving to both teens, young people, and athletes as well. There was this almost proof of concept for both of us. Kim heard about me and I heard about Kim. Not only did we have these great ideas to write the book and what we'd include, but practically we knew what we were doing as well. It really became this great relationship where not only were we connecting on how to write the book, but also consultation. How are we connecting on how to support athletes that we work with? How do we connect on growing our businesses and our private practices? Also, as parents, too. Sometimes you need another parent to talk to and just be able to reminisce about the successes and the failures that we all go through as we try to raise our kids as healthy as possible.
You guys are such a dynamic duo. I'm so excited that you found each other. I can't wait to see what becomes. This is the first of many, many books. I really can't wait to see how your impact together multiplies and impacts athletes around the world. Next question is for Kim. How did your experience as a national champion athlete shape the way that you approach mental health today?
For team athletes who are pursuing the biggest successes, the highest levels of achievement, I think we find that sport is simultaneously the best thing for your mental health as well as the worst thing. What I mean by that is you love and you care about it so much. And by it, I mean the sport itself, your team, everything about it, the pursuit of excellence. You love it. On the flip side of that love, there's a lot of heartache and a lot of adversity and a lot of difficulties that can take a toll on your mental health if you're not taking care of it. I was an athlete, a college athlete who didn't do the best job caring for my mental health. Back then, mental health was not worked on, talked about. It was stigmatized and you hid if you had a problem. I let my performance anxiety take hold of me, get in the way of reaching my full potential as an athlete. I love doing what I do because I want to be able to help young athletes so that they don't go through the difficulties I went through, or if they do, that they have the skills to manage it and get through it. A lot of my experiences, both good and bad, are what shape how I approach the athletes I work with now.
Wow, that is so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be able to reflect on your own experiences and now change the conversation and make the future a brighter place for these young athletes. JJ, you've worked with teams like the Red Sox and the Patriots. What's something people would be surprised to learn about the mental side of professional athletics?
I think the biggest thing that people don't recognize is how hard it is to do your job and to live your life out in public. We have the benefit of being able to have a bad moment in the grocery store or in the pharmacy or to make a mistake in our work or in our families. But when you're a professional athlete, everything gets magnified because there are so many avenues for access to you, both physically and emotionally. And you can't hide, right? I can hide. I'm 6'1", 200 and something pounds. But if I'm 6'7", or if I'm Shaquille O'Neal and 7'2", it's going to be really hard for me to hide myself in public and blend into the crowd because of my stature and my size. Thinking about how challenging it must be to be perfect in everything that you do, perfect in your profession, perfect in your relationships, and also perfect in public. I think once the community recognizes that, we can afford a little bit more grace to athletes and celebrities, given how much they're forced to live their lives in public and how much we benefit by living our lives often in private.
Most of us outside looking in just see athletes as celebrities that we really look up to, that we admire for having this talent that we would love to have ourselves. A lot of times we don't think of them as actual humans who have put everything that they have into what they're doing. It's, I think, novel to bring this into the conversation, that they do need to have their privacy. So when did you both realize that there was a deeper issue happening here among these younger athletes? Could be college athletes who are performing at their highest level or young professional athletes.
I think both of us have probably always realized that there's deep, complicated issues in youth sports, given that we both played them and we understand it from that level. What I continue to see is that it's getting harder and harder for kids. for youth and young adults to manage. And that's because kids today have more to manage than ever before. There's higher stakes than ever before for youth and young adult sports. There's more opportunities than ever before, which is a great thing, but it also increases anxiety with so many choices to make and so much adversity to manage. There's parents who are feeling stressed out of how do I set up my kid to succeed? Then social media fueling the achievements oriented society that we live in. So I think there's just like so much that keeps happening now that's just adding on and contributing to a lot of overwhelm in kids and young adults.
I think two things. One, Kim and I are privileged to have these really private moments with athletes. In these quiet moments, they're not whispering, they're screaming that they need help and support. Even though we see them on the court, the ice, the field, doing these tremendous things, there can still be a lot of mental and emotional strain and stress on them. But two, I agree with Kim. We played sports, so we know what that feels like personally. And there's so much data in our society. In a previous conversation, Kim and I joked, like we were little kids. We were just worried about being the fastest kid in our neighborhood. We didn't know what somebody was doing in France. We didn't care what somebody was doing in California. They might as well have been the same for us in terms of distance and care and worry. Now you can have 10-year-olds comparing themselves against 10-year-olds internationally. You can have adults knowing their body fat and how it relates and what percentile they're in. Although that data is important and can be helpful at times, there can be almost this paralysis because of it and this overwhelm and this brooding that can happen when people are consumed with it to the point that it causes a negative impact. What we really strive to provide is a sanctuary, both in the private one-on-one or the group work that we do. In the book, we really want to provide a resource. Hey, if this has been on your mind, let this be a gentle introduction to some of the ways in which you can take care of your mental health and also some of the ways that you can fall deeper in love with the sport that you're playing.
Love that word that you used, sanctuary. It really brings it all together. You're a safe place, a sanctuary, whether you're dealing one-on-one with a group or as co-authors for your readers. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you on behalf of all athletes out there. What you're working on, your mission, your passion is so important for anyone who calls themselves an athlete or anyone who's looking to get fit to read and learn from. We've taken it a little bit deep up in the beginning of this chat. Let's take it a little bit lighter. Since I know each other pretty well, I'm thinking with our quick fire questions today, we can see how well we know our co-author.
Oh boy.
What do you think?
Let's try it.
Let's try it and see
This
how
might
it goes.
be an offer. This might be an
I
offer.
know.
We'll see.
I can't wait to learn more about this stuff. Go ahead.
Let's start with JJ. JJ, what is Kim's favorite food?
We probably haven't eaten together yet. We worked remotely.
I thought
I'm
late
gonna
night snacks.
If I'm going to
No.
take a guess, I'm going to have to probably say you probably can throw down a burger and some fries.
I do love that, but actually mine is nachos.
Nachos. Okay.
That is the best. That for me, you can't go wrong with that. Nachos or buffalo wings. I think nachos have taken the edge for me. You, JJ, I don't know what I would pick for you.
I was going to say, this might not be the best.
You strike me as healthier than me. A steak.
Like, I
Can't
do
go wrong.
like a great steak. The Druid.
Okay.
Shout out to the Druid in Cambridge. They make a great Guinness steak. It's beautiful.
Shout out to the Druid. in
What is it? What is your
Cambridge.
favorite food?
I like steak. or my
I
mom
won.
makes great
That
back.
feels
I
like
won.
Kim got that one. One for
Okay,
Kim.
all right.
Excellent
This-
work.
She's not competitive at all.
No,
Not at all.
Mentality wins. Let's start with Kim this time. What is JJ's favorite place since
Well,
you're on a roll?
I think I know this one.
Okay.
Martha's Vineyard.
That is right.
Right.
It was Martha's Vineyard.
My goodness, Kim, you are on
Well,
it.
because that's one of mine too. Mine is more general that can be found in a lot of places, if that makes sense.
JJ, do you have a thought for what Kim's would be based on that hint?
I do. So I have two thoughts. One would be she talks so lovingly about her teammates at Harvard. My first assumption would be it would be with her alumni, with her teammates that she spent those 4 years with. Then just also knowing her and her family, spending time with her family, including the two dogs.
Those are 100% totally true. You're right. That supersedes what I was thinking for this, which if I was
hear
thinking of
butt coming up.
place, I was just thinking in general, the beach.
Oh, the beach. Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yes.
love anywhere warm on the beach.
Can we give him
Yes.
like a half a point for that?
You give him
He
a
was
full
pretty
point because
close.
you can actually give him double points because his answer was better than the one I originally thought. Give him 2
Double
points.
points. So now
I was
we're
pandering.
tied.
He made me better by saying that, so we're good.
Yes. Yes.
Next question. Let's start with JJ. I have to preface this with it can't be hockey or lacrosse.
Okay.
Okay.
What is Kim's favorite sport, if not hockey?
I don't know this
What is
week.
key?
I don't even know.
She doesn't know it herself.
Hockey is
Okay.
just such a no-brainer. Okay.
I know it's got to be hockey.
We're talking about playing or watching, or does it matter?
Favorite,
Favorite sports,
either
just
or,
general,
playing
however we
or
interpret it.
watching.
Favorite sport other than
Let's
hockey
say to
and
watch.
other
That's
than
easier.
lacrosse.
For both of us, hockey and lacrosse
Yes.
X'd out for both of us. Okay.
X'd out. I know you guys played those. That would be too easy.
Because she does love lacrosse too.
I
So
know,
that's
that's my second.
super tough. You don't strike me as a soccer lover. So I'm going to, yeah, nope.
Man, I love me some soccer.
Haven't heard any March Madness conversation. I think you'd be down for a football game.
I do love a football game, but I think my favorite is platform tennis,
Oh,
paddle.
you do play paddle
I
tennis.
play it because I
you do
play it and I
tennis.
just love it so much. I think as much as I love watching sports, I like playing them more. I have to pick that.
I actually have no idea what paddle tennis
It's
is.
awesome. It's played in cold. It's outside. It's in a cage. It's basically like a tennis court in a cage that's got like
Okay.
a metal bottom, and it's
My
a bouncy
gosh,
ball.
ultimate.
You wear all winter gear and you just go out there and play. It's doubles. It's so fun.
So similar to pickleball, but in a
Yes,
cage.
it's kind of similar, but the ball is different and you can hit it off the walls and stuff.
It sounds like a blast.
I think JJ's is football. No, it's tennis.
Is it tennis?
It's golf. I love golf.
Is it really?
Oh,
Big golfer. Yeah. Oh, to watch? Is it to watch or to play?
I think we didn't decide.
we didn't
Okay.
decide.
Football's to watch for you, though, isn't it?
I do like watching football. Yes.
I feel like we're still tied. You both
We
kind of
are
got
playing
each
golf
oth-
together this summer for the first
See
time.
that?
Yes.
Poor JJ has to put up with me on the golf
Maybe
course.
you guys need to get some food while you're there so you can
Yes,
check out the
remember.
Jackie, what do
steak.
you think it would be like to play golf with two sport clinicians?
Oh my goodness.
Tough.
This is also in a cage in the cold.
I'm not meeting Kim anywhere in a cage. I'm going to lose that fight. But yeah, we're both golfers, early to medium early in our journey. It's been a cool sport to play because you have to have patience. You have to be able to be in your mind, enjoy the people you're with, and enjoy the course.
Love it. And I love how down to earth you are as an athlete. JJ, Kim, we're at the beginning to mid of our golf career. I would love to see you guys play and see the numbers totally defy what you just said.
No, we got to bring a ton of balls for us to go play golf.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So next question, favorite book. Do either of you think that you know your co-author's favorite book? By the way,
That's
this is a
hard.
pretty good one.
Oh, yeah, that
case-
is both of our favorite books.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. There we
you go.
go.
There you go.
This is it. Mentality wins.
Yes.
Hands
Let's
yes.
hear
down.
yours, though, JJ. What is it?
What's
Do you
my
have one?
favorite book that I've read?
If not, mentality wins.
Hopefully you read it. If it's your favorite
So,
book.
yeah, no, I read it. One of my favorite books that I read in college was a book called Indian Killer by Sherman Alexie. And it was about a Seattle in the 1970s. There was this racial dispute at a casino, and that's this crime noir thing. And it was beautifully written. I loved that book. That was one of the books that revitalized my love of reading because reading's always been hard for me. I didn't want to read the book in college. And the professor said, I think you'll really like it. There's a murder in the beginning. And I was like, oh, this is intriguing. Let me check it out. So you actually read a murder mystery in school was fun.
Amazing. I'm adding that to my list. Kim, do you have a favorite book?
I love nonfiction. I devour nonfiction books, audio and paperback. My favorite book, probably that I've read multiple times at different points in my life, probably every 5 years I read it, is Catcher in the Rye. I love that book.
Absolutely. That's intense. So every 5 years, you're reading it with a totally different lens. And
Yes,
yes.
Exactly.
Picking up
You
different
pick up different things from it.
things.
You look at it differently as society changes. It's interesting. Interesting book.
I think the last one we'll have to keep separate because if you knew each other's favorite quote or mantra for life, that would be a pretty incredible thing. Let's say you both got 4 points. You both win. Congratulations. JJ, what is your favorite quote or mantra for life?
The Zen quote, let go or be dragged. It's this idea that you have to come to terms with the things that you're battling. You have to make an effort to mourn or grieve whatever you've been dealing with so you can let it go, or it's just going to drag you throughout these beautiful things that you want to go through in your life. That's been a huge thing for me in those moments where I do want to hold on to some pain, some injustice, some stress, some beef that I may have with somebody. It just feels better to let that energy go and to be free of it versus to like white knuckle it and put a lot more value into it than there needs to be.
For me, my favorite quote is the Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or can't, you're right. I love that one so much. I do have a mantra that I use a lot in sports that for me works. It's be in the shift you're in, or be in the point you're in, or be in the shot you're in. I'm someone who my chatter gets going. I start thinking and worrying. And when I start noticing I'm worrying about the outcome or how good my shot's going to be, whether I'm going to win the point, like if I'm going to score or make a mistake, I just say, be in the whatever it is you're in. For me, that mantra works.
I don't remember exactly where it was in the book, but one of the things stuck with me. I think it was lacrosse practice, JJ, where somebody gave you the advice to just let the ball drop
Yep.
when you first get there. And then, pick back up and then you've already gotten that out of the way. So I love that. Be in the shot that you're in or be in the shift that you're in, depending on your sport. Hidden talent.
I don't know if I have a hidden talent, but I do have weird stuff. I have a pebble in my head that's been in there since kindergarten. I fell on the gymnasium monkey bar thing. Teacher cleaned my cut. I went home, told my mom. My mom looked at it, looked fine. A couple of days later, it was red and infected. They did an x-ray and they were like, oh, there's a pebble in here. We can either open up his head right here and pull the pebble out and there'll be a scar, or we can treat it with antibiotics. The skin will close over it and it will eventually push the pebble out. My mom's like, let's do that, because I was freaking out about the scalpel next to my face. So they left it in. It's just stayed there. It hasn't been pushed out. And then my other thing that I usually use for two truths and a lie is that I was supposed to be a twin. My mom was pregnant. She heard 2 heartbeats and they thought they were going to have twins. When I was born, I was the only one that came out. And I didn't find out about this until I was 20. There was a horror movie about a twin that was haunting the baby that was born, and the person didn't know that they were a twin. And my mom made a joke like, oh, that could happen to you. And I was like, what are you talking about? Then she went in to tell me that I was supposed to be a twin. This is not something you casually drop on somebody while we're sitting on the couch watching a trailer for a really bad horror movie. I'd always felt like there was some weird part of me that was missing. My mom is a twin. We have tons of twins in our family. I always gravitated towards them without an explanation. That really helped prove to me that some truth had been finally unearthed.
They heard 2 heartbeats and it was just your
That's
one
interesting.
body. Wow.
Yeah, there's something else in there. I can't remember what the other thing was found in the afterbirth and in the delivery process, but there was some evidence, like a bigger placenta or a second placenta, but there was no evidence of it once I came out. It's kind of creepy.
I was not expecting you to say either one of those things. When you guys have done your thing with the nonfiction, if you want to take it to the fiction writing, I think you'd be really good at that based on your own life stories.
Yeah. I do have a hidden talent. My hidden talent is that I can do some magic tricks. When you work with kids, you have to sustain their attention a lot. I've developed or learned about 2 or 3 magic tricks that I use with young kids to get them back engaged. I thought I would only use them for young kids, but they also work with adults too. Everybody loves magic. I always encourage people to learn 1 or 2 magic tricks to keep in your back pocket so you can pull them out whenever you need them.
Genius. Love it. Kim, do you have any hidden talents?
To be honest, I really don't. I'm not super talented, but I will. My husband would say my talent is packing a beer fridge. If we're having people over and I have to take all like the beer or whatever we have and put it in, I make it look so good. I pack it to the brim and all organized. That's maybe the one thing I'd say. So no, I don't really have any talents, unfortunately.
I bet you played Tetris really well once upon a time. I don't know if you played that back
Tetris.
in the 90s.
I think that's a great game.
Great game.
Yeah, that I played that a ton growing up. But yeah, no, I like that. I like that kind of stuff.
Next time I pack my fridge, I'm going to think about you, Kim, and what a terrible job I'm doing. So let's talk more about your book, Mentality Wins, the athlete's playbook for thriving in sport and life. The title says it all. Mentality wins. What does that actually mean to you both in practice?
For me, it means in order to really fully get the most out of yourself as an athlete, it's all about finding that mental edge. Just like with the physical work you do for your sport takes practice and reps, so does the mental side. That to me is what the title means.
For me, one of the things that we were focused on was not focusing too much attention on winning, because winning is something that you have some control over, but it's not ultimately within your control. You can have a winning mentality and be part of a team that doesn't make it to the championship, that doesn't make it to the playoff, But because of the way that you approach things, you are performing at a high level. You are supporting your teammates. You are building a culture of determination and resilience that's going to help your team, really helping people understand that even if they're not in the most ideal situation, win loss wise, they can still adopt a mentality or a mindset that can help them enjoy their sport, be competitive, and help the people around them.
You guys are sports clinicians. Obviously, your book is going to resonate with athletes, with coaches, with parents of athletes. But I would dare to say that your book is important for anyone to read because it's mentality and a winning mentality in what you're describing and that work that you do to build that up can apply to anyone for their career, for their family life. It's so important to read the words that you have put together. To further that, how are mental health and performance connected in ways that people might not fully understand before they read your book?
As a sports psychologist, there's ASP, a big organization that does credentialing for sports psychologists and other certified mental performance consultants. We want to teach people how to perform at a high level and thrive. And that word thriving is very, very important because it speaks to this life being flourished and this life being enriched due to the lessons, strategies, and routines you use with a mental skills consultant or certified mental skills performer. So this idea that we can do things to not only be able to do the job, to be the lawyer, to be the teacher, to be the accountant, but by doing it, our lives can be made better, our relationships can be made stronger, and our connection with self can be made deeper if we approach it a particular way. So that's the guidance and the way that we want people to approach seeing this book. Okay, I used to be an athlete or I never was. How is this going to help me improve my life and live the life more aligned with my goals and values? This is going to provide you with a strategy to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally so that you get to be in every great moment of your life. It's really easy for us to be in the deepest, darkest moments of our lives because they're very intense and our brain kind of forces us to be in that moment so we can avoid it in the future. It's really hard for us to be in the birthdays, the celebrations, the beautiful, the mundane. But those moments are really important for us to remember too and attach to so we can have gratitude for them. I'm 42. One day I'm going to hopefully be 82. I really need to be present in these moments in my 40s, 50s, or 60s so that when I am older and I miss those moments, I can call them back with detail, with fervor, with energy, with enthusiasm. So I don't feel like I wasted them. I feel like they're carried with me throughout the course of my life. That's what we really want people to do. We want you to be grounded, be where your feet are, and really enjoy these moments so that they can be with you as you progress through life.
So beautiful. You guys are the doctors in the house. Why is that the sad reality that we can recall these deep, dark moments and some of those really happy moments, those little things that we should be celebrating in such a big way are hard to recall in detail? Any thoughts?
It's all about attentional bias, meaning as human beings, we're wired to have our attention to the negative. That was back in the day how we survived. But now we don't necessarily need that anymore. But because our brains are wired to be attuned to the negative, we actually have to practice turning our attention to the positives. What JJ's talking about, this idea of savoring, is being able to feel when something positive is happening to you, feel it with all of your senses and savor it and have it, that feeling stay with you longer and have you be able to recall it later on when you need it most. In a growing way, athletes are understanding that mental health and performance are connected in such a positive way. When I was playing, it was different. People thought you had to sacrifice your mental health for your performance. What we know now is that's actually not true at all. The opposite is true. Is like when you feel good, you're going to perform well. So that's really the whole point of this book that JJ and I wrote is, we want to make sure athletes understand this idea, feel great, play great. You've got to take care of your whole self in order to be able to perform well. You come first as a person, athlete second. If you really take care of yourself, the performance will come more naturally.
In the flourish section, you guys wrote, you'll explore your values, purpose, and identity and learn to prevent and recover from injuries and burnout and build strong support systems, all while maintaining the perspective that you're a human first and your sport is simply something that you do. How beautiful is that? Kim, can you please share one simple actionable routine from the book that any athlete or even a non-athlete can start today?
Sure. One of the most underrated mental skills that young people and athletes can work on is their self-talk. Your self-talk is that internal narrative you have that makes meaning about yourself and your situations and shapes how you interpret them. If you talk to yourself really negatively all the time, you're going to interpret yourself to be more negative and your environment to be more negative. But if you speak more positively about yourself and your environment, you're going to be more hopeful and have more opportunity, and you're going to feel better and perform better. One actionable routine that we talk about in the book is this self talk tool called Recognize and Replace. Simply recognize what your self talk looks like. In the book, we also talk about doing an audit of your self talk to see how much is negative, how much is positive. Ultimately, when you start to realize that you are having some negative self talk, you first recognize it. What is it that you're saying? Maybe you're saying, can't do this. Once you recognize it, you can then replace it with something positive. Or if positive feels too hard at first, you can replace it with something neutral. By neutral, we mean something that is directly related to the sport you're playing. So maybe it's swing through the ball or ride hard or whatever that's related to your sport. You focus on the thing that you need to do rather than that negative internal self talk. A lot of young athletes may feel it's silly at first to speak so positively to yourself, but I often ask athletes, what's the alternative? You're either speaking in a way that feels silly or in a way that feels mean. Ultimately, you're going to want to pick the silly one. Speaking positively to yourself or using positive affirmations, it's not silly. It's self-respect, and it's something that we should all be speaking to each other with.
JJ, I don't know how you're going to follow up on that one, but is there any other one step that readers can take, one simple actionable routine from the book that any athlete or person can take forward to improve their own mentality?
Beyond some of the ones that we already spoke about, play, savoring, or the big one that sticks out to me and the one that's made a huge impact on me as I've gotten older has been the difference between a pregame ritual and a pregame routine. A lot of people are familiar with a pregame routine, how you get your body warm, you get your body ready for competition. A lot of people are incorporating pregame ritual without even knowing it. For us, we really think about pregame ritual as, what do you do to feel not so isolated while you're out there on the court, the field, the ice, wherever you're competing? What are you going to do to ground yourself in the love and shield yourself with the love to yourself, the love coming from other people, that's going to help you be able to be as successful as possible? Pre-game ritual for me when I lift weights or if I go for a run is I'll blow 3 kisses before I start. One will be for myself because you always got to put your oxygen mask on before anybody else's. One will be for my wife. And then one will be for our son. This idea that I'm doing this in celebration and as an act of love for the 3 people that I love the most in this world. It grounds me and makes me feel not only that I have their protection as I'm doing a late night training run or as I'm lifting in the gym by myself, but that it also makes the experience have an extra sense of worth and investment. Even if I planned on doing an hour workout, and I still only got 45. Wow, that's 45 minutes of investment that I made into our family to help keep our family healthier, stronger, and together maybe for a few more hours. Maybe that workout adds 15 more minutes to my life. And that ritual embodies that ability for me to think about that in a positive way, which then allows me to push really hard. And what we see sometimes when we work with athletes is they don't do the ritual. When they're out there, they feel really isolated. Everybody in the stands looking at them. They look at the clock and the clock is judging them, or the scoreboard's judging them, or their opponents or their coaches, and they don't feel that interpersonal protection. Doing more of that pregame ritual can give them a feeling that they have people in their corner and people that have their back, win or lose, that are going to hug them and love them after the game.
Man, if we see a whole bunch of runners at the starting line of races giving kisses, we're going to know that everybody wants to be like JJ and has read this book, heard this message. Think if I were to say this is like finding your why, right? It's sort of similar because you're talking about identifying the core group in your life that's the most important to you and how this next 45 minutes might add some time with those people. That's such a beautiful way to extrapolate and think big about what might seem like a small step that you're taking in that moment.
Think about when you win. When you win, you want to call somebody. You want to talk to somebody. Who's that first person you want to call when you get that job? Who's the first person you want to call when you get accepted to college or high school or whatever? Who's the first person you want to call when you tell them that you're pregnant or something like that? You want to have these successes, not just for yourself, but so you can share them with the people that you love. Oftentimes, when stress hits, when anxiety hits, when mental health hits and hurts us, we forget about how many people are not excited for us because we won, but excited for us because we are enjoying ourselves. We are living in the moment. We're experiencing loss and success. So really grounding yourself by staying connected to those relationships and reminding yourself that not only am I doing this for myself so that I can be successful, but I'm also doing this in service of friends and family that are really excited about this adventure.
What is one take home message you want every young athlete to take away from your book, Mentality Wins?
You are more important than your sport. You need to take care of yourself and become an expert on yourself and what things work for you to help yourself, your longevity, both in and out of sport.
I think just reminding athletes and people in general, there are more people out there that love you than you think. Your reach and your breadth and your depth of those relationships is probably a lot deeper than you think. But when you feel isolated, know that that feeling of isolation at times can be a lie, and that deep down, there are a bundle of people who are willing to go to bat for you, willing to fight for you, and willing to declare how much they love and care for you. Just reminding people of that because life can get isolating, but we are members of a community and our community fights for us.
What a gift you guys are to the rest of us. Thank you for coming together, putting your brain power together to make this book and get your message out there. Let's talk about that bigger group of people who you matter to and the people who helped you get to where you guys are today. Shout outs to anyone out there that you think is doing a really great job, or anyone to thank for helping you get to where you are today.
For me, always my most important thank you is to my family. Parents, husband, children, extended family. I know JJ feels the same. In terms of who's doing a great job, I want to give a shout out to the clinicians in my practice. So I run a mental health practice for athletes by athletes called Unlimited Resilience. I have 16 amazing sport clinicians who work with all different types of athletes, and they have all different areas of expertise in sports. They are always putting the athletes first. By athletes first, I mean the person first, and in how they're working with them. They're not just working on sport performance, it's working with the athlete as the whole person. They're amazing clinicians.
Wow. Congratulations to you and your team. And thank you again for what you do every single day. Do you sleep? I'm just curious. You guys have
I'm
so
a
much
huge
going on.
sleeper.
So
That's
important.
why. I think that's why I can do what I can do, because I sleep.
Wow.
You need to
Well,
sleep.
I don't know how you find the time. You have so much amazing work going on. JJ, any shout out?
The fam, for sure. Friends and family have been just so instrumental, particularly during this year. Kim and I have been hitting the pavement, getting the word out about the book. There's been so many sacrifices that our son has made, my wife has made. I just can't thank them enough for that, and my friends. In terms of people doing it well, I think there's several nonprofits that Kim and I both support and do a lot of work with. The Hidden Opponent does some great things with athletes. Katie Saves does some great things with athlete mental health and around suicide prevention, and also debriefing after athlete suicide. Kyle Cares, locally here in Boston and the New England area, does a great job of getting mental health services into schools so that we reduce the barrier for young people. One of my mentors, Justin Sua, met him at the Red Sox. He's a great man and kept me in this field. And then a special shout out for me would be Dr. Price, who used to be the medical director of the Patriots. He was there when I started. He unfortunately passed away due to cancer, but he was just such a tremendously an amazing guy. I just cherished the time that I had with him. And also I became a dad while he was working there and gave me a lot of fatherly advice that I still use today.
Takes a village. Dr. Price, rest in peace. Congratulations to all the folks that you shouted out. What is next for you, Dr. Jonathan Jenkins and Dr. Kim O'Brien?
Sleep. Taking Kim's advice. Give me some sleep.
We're take some time to reflect and relax. We're still doing a bunch of talks here and are very grateful that are getting a lot of requests to speak, which has been really, really fun. This summer, I'm going to take off and just relax. I think it's really overrated, this idea of being busy all the time. Being able to unwind and spend time with people you love, at least for me, that's my point.
JJ, What's next?
Trying to get back into making some art and letting my creative side go. The creative side was really in full force writing the book, but I like doing some visual stuff too. It's also just getting my body right. I've had a few aches and pains and just spending more attention to the body. I think I spent last year a lot on my mind and my mental health, and I want to rebalance and make sure that my body is in a good place as well.
We have our course that we've created based on the book too. That's
Yeah.
going to be
Yep.
coming out.
Yep.
So
That's true.
tell me about this course.
We've had a lot of requests from some different sports academies and schools about, do you have a curriculum around the book? We have a course that can be anywhere from a short course, 4-week, all the way up to a 12-week that you would do in a classic high school or college.
I can't wait to hear all the glorious things that happen with this Mentality Wins that you put together. It'll impact so many different schools, so many different athletes, young and old, professional, casual. I really
Yes.
appreciate how down to earth you guys are, considering all the knowledge that you've imparted, and grateful for the things that you've shared. That thank
Having us.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being here. Go save the world.
We're trying. Trust us.
I
We
love
try.
it. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.